Yeah. I seen it a lot. I seen it a lot. I'm from the bottom, I'm straight to the top. I'm in the hood, I'm still on my block. I know some shooters that run in your spot, hit you with a shot. I seen it.
Welcome. NBK presents Black Conquistadors, Africans in Spanish America, 16th century. Let's begin. In the early 1500s, Spanish colonial Africans were shipped en masse to the colonies to participate in the cash cow of the Western Hemisphere, sugar plantations. From the very onset of Spanish military occupation in the Americas, Africans were present as voluntary members of expeditions and as involuntary colonists. Africans were used as armed and unarmed auxiliary. Of these Africans, one made his mark during the siege of Tenochtitlan with the Cortez in 1519. His name is Juan Garrido. Based off the siege of Tenochtitlan in 1521, Garrido may have arrived in the Americas by the early 1500s. In May 1524, he petitioned and was granted a piece of land and established a blacksmith shop. The shop was located down the street from a church where La Noche Triste occurred. La Noche Triste, or the Sad Night, was an important event during the Spanish conquest of Mexico in 1521, wherein Herman Cortez and his invading army of Spanish conquistadors and their native allies were driven out of the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. Garrido campaigned alongside Cortez to investigate the economic potential of the Aztec-controlled area. The mission was called Triple Alliance. Identified as one of the first to harvest crops in New Spain, the wheat crops grown after were said to be of those seeds. He made his home outside city limits and worked as a doorkeeper for the local cabildo until 1526. In 1528, he acquired a gang of slaves and tried his luck in the gold mining business. Not very successful, he moved back home. In 1521, when Mexico City was founded, Spaniards began to expand the limits of the empire. Sebastian Toral was brought from Mexico to Yucatan by Francisco de Montejo. For his service, Toral received manumission and was exempted from tribute collections, but he had to petition the Spanish crown at least twice to ensure the latter. Eventually, Toral settled in newly founded state capital of Merida with his family and worked in one of the few occupations open to blacks in New Spain. He became a doorkeeper guard. The enslaved acquired their freedom soon after they began fighting alongside the Spaniards. Very few black conquistadors remained enslaved after their service to the crown. Black conquistadors were used even more as the Spanish were forcibly securing territory from Florida to Honduras. In 1515, Diego Velázquez wrote, "The king stated many black slaves were used in the invasion of Cuba."